What was the stupidest thing you ever said to your crush? It was graduation and I was talking to her while the valedictorian was giving his speech. She remarked that he is going to be great as a physicist after college. My stupid remark was, why would someone as smart as him want to be a gym teacher? Backstory. My high school days were spent skateboarding, playing MTG and watching MTV. I did go to college and get smarter, but 25 years later I still regret saying that. So for me it was that I fell right in front of him while holding a bag of popcorn, and then I asked him while laying on the floor, do you want some? I once told my crush they had beautiful eyes, but then I added, wait, let me put my glasses on. Smooth, right? We were going surfing. It was the first time I was going. On the way there it started raining a bit, and I asked if it was still okay to surf in the rain. He looked at me a bit confused, so I asked if our feet would slip from the board if it's raining. I think I figured it out before his brain could find a nice way to ask if I was an idiot. Even when he asked me out to be his GF, I said up to you. That also stunned him into silence. There are so many instances I must said truly airheaded things to him. Anyhow, he still married me, lol. Had her over for a movie. Sitting on the couch next to each other. And 10 men in, she comes a little closer and said, I've already seen this movie. Simply said back, oh, I haven't. She slides back and it was semi-awkward the rest of the movie. Didn't work out afterwards, lol. I once tried to impress my crush by quoting a famous philosopher, but instead of sounding profound, I ended up sounding like I was reciting the menu at a taco stand. Let's just say Shakespeare I am not, and leave it at that. Grade 8 crush. We were texting and she said her friend did her makeup and she thought she looked like a whore. Upon seeing her, I agreed she looked like a whore. She never texted me again. I walked up to him when he was sitting at a table of 3 other people, sat down, and said, I've decided that you are my boyfriend. And it was awkward silence. We then politely debated for a few minutes about how he wasn't my boyfriend, except I was insistent that he was. Meanwhile, the onlookers were flabbergasted. I was 14, he was 16. Turns out he was secretly dating his best friend's ex-girlfriend. That cat didn't come out of the bag until months later. Fast forward a few years and he tells me I should have dated you. This man said you deserve better. I said I don't want better, I want you. UGHM cringing, lol. Insert every text I sent between the ages of 12-16. How does it look? While she was fixing her hair, to which I responded, I don't know him, not a girl, fucking hell, ma. See ya in chemistry. I don't have chemistry. Who are you? But there's chemistry between us, yeah? Take one step closer and I'll throw acid in your eyes. Never again. She was talking about how she looks a lot like her mother, and me trying to be subtle said your mom is pretty hot. I defuck her, I just got a weird look. Was one of those things that worked out better in my head, but when she looked at me like I was crazy I kinda froze up and couldn't save that situation. Asked my crush if they were Wi-Fi, because I was feeling a strong connection. Cue the awkward silence. I was talking to this Japanese guy recently. I mentioned to him that I wanted to visit Mount Fuji and he responded by saying it's beautiful. But cause I was a bit drunk I just sorta blurted, so what you're saying is that you're Mount Fuji? Bro was hella confused and went, how am I like Mount Fuji? I'm not fat. Then I had to explain how I mean he was beautiful like Mount Fuji, which made me cringe so bad, cause who the fuck says that? God, that was sleazy. He sorta went, oh thank you? But I'm a guy after that. Now though, we do this funny sorta thing where instead of calling something pretty we go OMG this dress is so MT Fuji, so I guess there's that. Now we both look like weirdos in public. I was about to leave town to go to college and I wound up alone with the girl I had a crush on for months. We were lightly flirting all night. I worked up the courage and said to her, the last thing I want to do before I leave is kiss you. She interpreted that as meaning that I didn't want to kiss her, like that was the last thing I want. It hurt her feelings, and there was no way to convince her that I meant the opposite of that. I went on a date with this guy once, major crush on him for a while. We went back to his place after and ended up having sex. He looked at me during and said, you love my cock, don't you? All seductive like. I stared at him and said, I guess so. Threw the whole vibe off, but so did him saying cock like that. I asked if he wanted to marry me in Stardew Valley. When I was younger, I was reading this Garfield comic, and in this one strip it said in my native language that this one word means I like you, and the word actually meant fat. So I walked over to my crush, said with full chest, PLS, Urai hana aka fatso, you are lovely, so I called my crush fat. Nice. Hey, so I see we share the same class. That's cool? Wait, why did I say that? Wait, why am I saying this? Shit, now she's looking at me weird. Yes, I did say all that. Let's just say word got around school and now all the girls and guys avoid me. Back in high school, Had a situationship with a cute guy who played in a basketball tournament. Texted him congrats on kissing ass. You were really awesome. I was supposed to say kicking ass, damn autocorrect, but we just laughed about it. Oh man, during an awkward silence, I once blurted out to my crush, did you know sneezes travel at about 100 miles per hour? Fascinating, right? She just stared at me and I realized my attempt to break the ice ended up freezing the moment. We never really talked much after that science fact disaster. Not knowing what it meant, I told my crush that I had roast beef. I thought I was just talking about the color brownish because I'm mixed. Nope, not at all. He eventually explained it to me and now we've been together for over a year.